Welcome to this week's Vero Coaches Wrap. Murray Davis here to review our round 17 game for GWS. Not the result we were after. Started quite well but then dropped off, had another bad second quarter, and they were just too good for us in a lot of areas. I've tried to answer a few of your questions today. Thanks for sending them in. I'll start with this first one, which was a great question in relation to these coaches wraps that we do about giving away too much information. It's probably one thing from an opposition point of view, and within the AFL there's a lot of information out there for clubs to access. Every possible statistic that you could imagine is out there for people to source and seek, and a lot of clubs have a lot of opposition scouts as well, people and game analysts that work with us really closely to provide information as well. A few of our fans have noted that there was a bit of a trend in the game was us kicking long down the middle from our kick-in, so I'm going to try and best answer that as I can with a few clips. The first one is Ryan Lester kicking the ball in, and the plan behind what we're trying to do here. So it starts with, as I said, Ryan Lester kicking the ball in from a kick-in, so we set up accordingly. The ball goes long down the middle, and this is really important what we do behind the ball, which is just make sure we close any gaps on the opposition. So as this ball gets kicked to the contest, and I've slowed it right down here because this is the critical part of any kick-in, and that's the contest itself. So you'll see the guys, good numbers around the ball. We're being able to really smash in and pressure the opposition and try and win this ball back. So that's really what we're trying to do with the long kick in down the middle. On this occasion we do a really good job of winning it. Ruben gets a handball out to Dane Zorko, senses a bit of pressure on him, ducks under the tackle, and we're able to kick the ball forward to a 2v2 contest. And we don't score from this one, and we end up tying the ball up, and it forces a stoppage. But that's a real win for us. It's very difficult to score from every kick-in, given you've got to travel length of the field, but hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea as to what we're doing. This kick-in here from Tom Cutler is one that got spoiled back in, or we weren't able to get that pressure, if you like. So again, ball gets kicked in long down the middle. As these ball spills here, we're just not able to make the tackle. Eric Hipwood initially on Williams from GWS, and we don't quite make the smother. So we miss the tackle, we miss this opportunity to smother. Quick kick out, and it happens to fall into the lap of a GWS player. What it looks like from behind the goal, I've just highlighted in yellow our defender and where the GWS player is. So it's a bit of Russian roulette and rolling the dice. It's a high risk, high reward, and we'll continue to work with the players on it. As I mentioned, the ball spills out to the GWS player, and he kicks the ball inside 50, and they take a mark, and as I said, kicked a goal from it on this occasion. This is the last one I'll show, which is actually a bit later in the game. Same, down the middle, we get a contest, and you can see the sort of numbers and pressure on GWS. It's not the prettiest play, but we've got good numbers around the ball. We end up winning it out, and Josh Shackey kicks it inside to Tom Rockcliffe, who takes a mark and kicks a goal. And what it looks like from behind the goals, you'll see the ball in the middle of the field there, and you've got Rocky starting to run back towards goals. So, as I said, it's high risk, high reward. We've just got to make sure we continue to change it up, and that we're not always... sometimes it's good being predictable. Sometimes that means that the opposition know what you're always doing as well. So we'll keep looking at those things as we do as coaches. And I mentioned the opportunity to score, so you'll see the top teams there, what their percentage is, and the average is around 10 to 9%. So we sit in that category at the moment of scoring from kick-ins. So sometimes it's just about being able to force a stoppage, and if you're lucky enough to get through and score, that's what we're sort of hoping to do. So you can see where we sit at this stage of the season. So touched on the heat maps last week in regards to players, but we also have it from a kick-in point of view. So you can see where we sit currently for the whole year in regards to where we're going, the red highlighting the part which is our main target area. So we go through these sorts of things. This is the last 4 rounds, so you can see over the last 4 rounds we've really focused on that area. And then again, the GWS game, which showed of all our kick-ins, we had 3 on the left, 2 on the right, and 9 up the corridor. So that's something that we'll go through with our players in discussing our planning. And we have access to all the other clubs' information as well as to where they use and go for their kick-in, so we'll study that from a defensive point of view. The next question was just around our pressuring the opposition and what it looks like. We certainly emphasise the importance of applying pressure to the opposition, and sometimes it comes on the back of scenarios like this, and I thought this clip best showed it. And you've got Ruben Williams here pressuring the ball carrier from GWS, and what's really important is that these two guys on the outside also help in that pressuring part. So they're not pressuring the ball carrier, but what they're doing is they're taking out the receive option. So you've got one player pressuring the ball, and these two players are pressuring the other option. So the ball spills out, and this is where the teams then start flicking it around. The ball sits up in the air, and then we've got the decision as to who pressures the GWS player. So on this occasion, it stops. Tom Rockcliffe does a pretty good job, I think, of thinking, well, I'll go and defend this player here, which means that Eric Hipwood has to pressure the ball carrier. There's a bit of confusion, and we're seeing a bit of that at the moment, not being quite on the same page, so it's something we'll continue to work with our players, and GWS are able to quickly transition the ball into their forward 50. So it's something that we'll keep working on, is that pressure on the ball carrier, and they end up kicking a goal. But the communication, the relationship stuff is something that we'll, as I said, work with the players on, and we'll see some improvement in the back end of the season, I'm sure. Just a great example of where we do pressure the ball carrier. So Dan McStay, I've highlighted on this one here. So you can see him just standing there near the umpire on the boundary line and where the ball is, and his decision now to be able to go forward and pressure the ball carrier, and we end up forcing a stoppage on this occasion, and that's what we're after in regards to how we do that. This one here again, it's a bit of a scrimmage, ball's bouncing around, we're pressuring them, they're able to get through on a couple of occasions, and if you can't stop them, this is where we've got to make the decisions, and Dan McStay's got a decision to make again here where that ball is. Can he close down that space on his direct opponent? And he makes the decision to do that, and as you can see, if he doesn't get that right, you've got a couple of GWS players there that he can handball that off to. I think it's Devon Smith, but Dan does a really good job of being able to close down the space and pressure and make a tackle, and we end up forcing a stoppage. So that's both sides of what we're trying to do in regards to pressuring the opposition, and hopefully we bring that against Essendon on Sunday at Etihad Stadium.